For more than 4 decades, Verne Gagne was a legendary wrestler and promoter, and an instrumental figure in the expansion of sports entertainment. Verne Gagne grew up in Minnesota, and when the time arrived for him to choose a college, he stayed right at home, opting to become a Golden Gopher. There at the University of Minnesota, Gagne won 4 Big Ten wrestling championships and was the NCAA champion in both 1948 and 1949. Gagne also went on to represent the United States as a member of the 1948 U.S. Olympic wrestling team. He would evolve from a remarkable amateur wrestler to one of the greatest and most recognizable professional wrestlers of any generation. Gagne headlined huge events at Chicago's Comiskey Park and Soldier Field, taking on wrestling's finest: Gene Kiniski, Baron von Raschke, Jerry Crusher Blackwell, Billy Robinson, and most notably, Nick Bockwinkel. Gagne's wrestling career would span over 30 years, during which he captured the prestigious AWA World Championship on 10 separate occasions. Later in his career, Verne would become sole owner of the legendary American Wrestling Association and split his time between promoting the AWA and training scores of future superstars like Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair, Bob Backlund, and a host of others. His contributions to the sport of professional wrestling are unparalleled.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fatal 4-Way Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse the Man Lopez, alongside owner-operator of Anime Fun TV, Ernest Ultrasonic Zamora. Unfortunately, today we start the show with sad news, of course. About 2 weeks ago, Verne Gagne passed away, owner of the AWA, its promoter, its heavyweight champion. This guy trained many pro athletes in the from WWE Hall of Famers. Sergeant Slaughter was in the promotion. Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, Ric Flair, Ken Patera, Scott Hall, Sid Vicious. The list goes on and on and on and on. And other legends like Baron von Raschke and all these other guys. It's a very shame. It's a shame that he had to pass away. He lived a full life, and this Fatal 4-Way Podcast, Episode 5, is dedicated to you, Verne Gagne. Thank you for all your memories. Thank you for everything that you've done for wrestling fans across the world. And thank you for just being you, Verne. Thank you very much.
You have never messed with anybody like me. The future is now.
On Sunday, May 17th, there's going to be payback.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topics for the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, it's going to be our predictions for Payback. We're also going to talk NXT, our predictions for NXT TakeOver on May 20th. Also, a surprise announcement by WWE. Also, our last topic, of course, would be Daniel Bryan. Is he Hall of Fame worthy? Yes or no? What do you guys feel like? So, we're going to be talking about WWE Payback and its predictions. Ernest?
What's up?
Payback. What do you think so far? How is it being billed to you?
Somewhat interesting. I mean, dude, there's some cards in there that I'm actually sort of interested in. Admittedly, I haven't really watched Raw very often because, again, I have no cable. So I have to go by the news wires that I hear on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff about what's going on.
So with that, I'm really not sure. The match is kind of odd, but we're going to go down to our predictions for this and find out what is going on in the world of the WWE right now. So... not in any particular order. I guess we could start off with Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. I am shooting for probably a Sheamus victory because they've been pushing Sheamus for a while. And I have a feeling that they're going to go with this like UK connection type thing going on with him and Wade Barrett. It would be very interesting to see if it does take place like a UK stable. I could also probably see in booking wise this would work. Also bringing maybe Paige into the stable, maybe doing something like that. That's again fantasy booking, not what's actually gonna happen. But I'm gonna shoot for a Sheamus victory on this one.
I see Ziggler winning again.
You think he's got his number?
Yeah, I think so.
I could also see Ziggler winning it too. I mean, they're both these three guys: Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett. These guys are going to be pushed really hard. Of course, since the departure of Daniel Bryan
Which
due
we'll
to
discuss
injury.
later.
Yeah, due to injury. But with that, they're going to push these three really hard. That's their mid-carder. So one of these three possibly could be getting that IC title around their waist. The next one we're going to be talking about is Bray Wyatt versus Ryback. I'm going to go for a Bray Wyatt victory on this one. For some odd reason, I don't know. This match doesn't really interest me.
Again, I don't know any of the events leading up to it. Again, because Bray Wyatt just came from, WrestleMania wrestling, The Undertaker, which is, a big deal. And then for him to come back and fight Ryback, it's kind of going 2 steps backwards, at least in my opinion.
Well, I know they have to push Ryback for something just to keep him relevant. But against Bray Wyatt, I don't see it. I mean, the match, again, doesn't intrigue me. There's really not much story behind it.
Mm-mm.
Bray Wyatt just came out of nowhere, started doing his cryptic messages to Ryback, and there you go.
But see, this again doesn't make no sense. What is the reason? Well, again, it's Bray Wyatt, but still, there has to be some reasoning behind it. Like, at least with Undertaker, there was a reasoning behind it, because he was trying to be the new face of fear, type thing. With Ryback, I don't know what he has to accomplish with Ryback.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's not much I could say. I'm shooting for a Bray Wyatt victory at Payback, Ernest.
I'm actually shooting for Ryback to win. Sorry.
Well, okay, no, that's out of right field because we just dogged on Ryback for no apparent reason.
No, I wasn't dogging on Ryback. I was just dogging on Bray Wyatt because Bray Wyatt, again, what's his reason for going for Ryback? What is he trying to accomplish there? I don't know. So I go with Ryback for the win because really it's kind of, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Bray Wyatt versus Cena. There was absolutely not really a reason why to go against Cena other than trying to make Cena a heel, turn bad, but it didn't work. I'm not too sure what the twist is with this with Bray and Ryback, but I'm going for Ryback on this one.
Yeah, again, this one didn't really interest me. There's not much build to it, so again, a little weird on my opinion anyway. The next one is, of course, which I think is going to be an awesome match on this one. It's going to be the United States Heavyweight Championship, John Cena versus Rusev in an I Quit match. John Cena's on a roll, man. The WWE is playing this open challenge thing,
which I openly did not agree with very much. Okay, the open challenge, cool, yeah, challenge anybody. In other words, let Cena bury anybody that he fucking wants, essentially. I'm sorry. I mean, you had, the first challenger was Dean Ambrose. Okay, I can see Dean Ambrose not up to par with Cena because, he's sort of a lesser, his status is a little lesser than Cena. Then you had, after Dean Ambrose, I forgot who was the next challenger. But the third challenger, I think it was, was Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
Why in all the world would you bring Sami Zayn to versus Cena? Why would you do this?
Well, the Sami Zayn thing, it's pretty cool because they're going to test to see if the fans are actually know who he is.
They know who he is.
And if he's relevant enough to be on the main roster. We're going to be talking about NXT later on. But during the match, of course, Sami Zayn got hurt, and that was his fault for trying to hype up the crowd. He pulled his pec or his arm or his shoulder. He got hurt during the match, and everyone's blaming Cena for it, which it wasn't Cena's fault. It was Sami Zayn's fault for doing it. Essentially, then last night on Monday, it was Adrian Neville, and they tore the house down. Adrian Neville is going to be the new face of the WWE once Cena is ready to call it quits. I think all their money is going to go onto Adrian Neville. Now, it's not the typical big guy looking, but he's got the skill set of a Shawn Michaels. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see once Cena steps out of the picture. But for this one, for the United States Championship, and like I was saying, WWE is doing fantastic with this open challenge. The fans are behind John Cena.
I beg to differ, but go ahead.
But regardless with what's going on with Rusev, again, I'm going to say for this one, the I Quit match, I do see John Cena pulling out a victory again and ending, I guess, the relationship of Rusev and Lana. And Lana is going to manage maybe someone of the up-and-comers. I want to say maybe Sami Zayn or maybe Adrian Neville. She's gonna manage and to help elevate their career. Ernest, who do you got in that match?
I see Rusev winning.
You see the Bulgarian brute.
Yes.
Doing a tap out.
Because I want to see Cena hurt. I want to see him gone. Essentially, I mean, not to be mean to Cena or anything like that. It's just I think it's time for him to just step aside and just let some other people come up, and then let him be sort of like The Rock, sort of. I'm not saying he is The Rock or the equivalent of The Rock. I'm just saying, put him back, let him come out certain times when he's needed, but not every fucking night, So yeah, it's a good chance for the young ones to come up, like Adrian Neville, which I like Adrian Neville. I like the sort of angle they're doing with Raw as far as WWE with Raw with Adrian. The only thing is, I'm not saying they're pushing him too much like they did like Roman Reigns, but I see him gradually. They're pushing him, and I just don't want the management in Raw to be like pushing him in our face. I want the fans to slowly grow on him. Make him lose a couple of matches. I know he's on a win streak right now. I think
he's in a win-loss. He's in the midst. He just lost to Cena. He's lost to Wade Barrett in the finals of the King of the Ring. So he's got losses.
I would be honest with you. I'll make him lose a few more matches to try to build up that underdog, kind of like Daniel Bryan. That's what you need. You need to build up a superstar that has the underdog capability where he can come back at a later time, say like a pay-per-view or something like that, where he can come back and then the fans accept him as an underdog. That's my theory. But as far as this match goes, I don't want Cena to win.
All right. Our next one is, which I think is a fantastic rivalry to rejuvenate the tag team division. That is the New Day, who are the current tag team champions, versus Antonio Cesaro and Tyson Kidd in a rematch for their tag team titles. Which one of these, which form of the New Day we're going to get, I'm not too sure. That's going to be, I guess, a game day decision because they're using the Freebird rule.
Which many of you may not know?
The Freebird rule, basically any formation of the three could defend those tag team titles whenever they want, for their tag team match. But for Antonio Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, I think we're going to see the ones that won the belts. I think it's going to be Big E versus Kofi Kingston in this match. But I'm going to say right now they are on a win streak right now, and I think the New Day is going to pull this one off.
I'll have to disagree. I would say Cesaro and Kidd. Rewatching Extreme Rules, Kidd and Cesaro, they pull off some moves that impressed me, be very honest with you. And for the New Day as a gimmick that they're doing right now, I guess in a sort of way I can see them winning to keep their gimmick going. But if they're going to nix that gimmick, I see Cesaro and Kidd winning to try to bring the titles back to something that was actually hot to begin with. But again, knowing WWE and their creative, no telling what it is. But at least for what I want, or at least what I would like to see, is Kidd and Cesaro coming out on top.
I could see them also winning, but my pick again is for the New Day. Who knows? That tag team division is getting riled up again.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to step back of the Ascension. I haven't heard anything from the Ascension since
they premiered. Again, that was another, ball drop on the behalf of creative at Raw.
They've reformed as of last night. They reformed half of the Wyatt family, or a quarter of the Wyatt family. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are back together. Could be a foreshadowing in the tag division again. So that's going to be interesting. Eric Rowan was getting lost in the shuffle with everything that was going on. So it's good to see those two come back. But this match is going to be very interesting. Their last couple of matches that they had have been really great. The WrestleMania on the Fatal 4-Way, the one at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I'm looking for another successful title defense and another good match from these guys. The next one we're going to talk about is the WWE Divas Championship. Again, it's going to be Naomi, who's been showing really good promise. She's very athletic. She's starting to, grow on me as well. She's a fantastic wrestler. Against the the Divas champion, which is Nikki Bella. Again,
knowing you,
biased as always. Fearless Nikki is going to win this match just because it's not time yet for her to drop the title. The right diva is not there yet, but it's getting very close for something to happen in the women's division. It is slowly altering. You could actually see it. They're giving them more time. Their matches are getting more physical, so it's getting there. They're getting ready to have that golden age in WWE women's wrestling again. But I'm saying Nikki Bella is going to take this championship, take it and defend her title one more time.
You know what? I have to regretfully agree with you. I think she's going to retain. Not too much to talk about the Divas because, again, at least for me, I know they're trying to give the Divas a push now. They're trying because NXT's got some great women in there, and they're gonna slowly show up on Raw, and I think like you're saying, they're slowly rebuilding that portion of Raw and SmackDown to be something good in the future. So hopefully, here's looking forward, to what they got going.
Yeah, if you missed it, you can see it on demand on the WWE Network, which is only $9.99. Little plug for WWE.
Hey, but we don't get paid for that.
One day. But you could also hear the Stephanie McMahon interview with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has his own podcast. You check it out. It's an awesome podcast. You should check it out. But he had an interview and talked to Stephanie. Stephanie said that they're going to be focusing more on the women's division. So here's to that, and I'm looking forward to many more divas having success. Then the speculation that's out there right now, that's a rumor that we've been hearing, is there's going to be an Intercontinental Battle Royal for the vacated Intercontinental title. If the Battle Royal is true and it's going to happen, who's going to win that championship? I think Wade Barrett, because he's making the biggest splash right now since he won the King of the Ring. I'm looking for King Wade Barrett to take back his title.
For those who don't know, because this is basically just happening like almost overnight about what happened with Daniel Bryan. Why is the Intercontinental Championship up for grabs right now, Jesse?
Well, we're going to be talking about it in our next one, but essentially, to skip ahead a little bit, he got hurt. He's been hurt since WrestleMania. He got pulled from the European tour. So he, as of Monday, he vacated the title. He relinquished the championship, left it in the middle of the ring. So now they got to figure out something to do with the IC title. Rumors, what I've been hearing, is going to be the Battle Royal.
Again, it's tentative.
It's tentative. It's not. It may or may not happen. But if it does happen, if a Battle Royal does take place, I'm choosing Wade Barrett.
And who of the four that we got, or how many contestants we got for the
Battle Royal? They could have put 20 guys. They could put 30 guys.
Oh, a complete Battle Royal. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm sorry. For some reason, I was thinking Fatal 4-Way or something like that. But no, a complete Battle Royal. Oh shit! You got everybody in the whole damn roster probably wanting to grab that title. You know what? Well, no, it's too soon for him. I was gonna say Neville, but it's too soon for him. I don't want him to get a title yet. surprises I would like to see. I'm going to say this. I really don't have a person who I want as an IC title, but surprises I would like to see. I'd like to see Sami Zayn back, but I would like to see Kevin Owens show up in the Battle Royal.
Kevin Owens would be very cool to see.
Just like a cameo appearance, like just him show up and screw something up for Sami Zayn. Because we got to go into next, but just as a promotion for the next pay-per-view for NXT, which we'll get next to.
The NXT, I believe, is on the 20th of this month.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very cool. I mean, man.
Lots of stuff is happening.
Yeah, this month by the end of the segment, we're going to announce another thing that was just, if you have the network or the WWE app, it was sent en masse via social media. We'll get to that at the end. But, Ernest, if anyone would you like to see IC champion?
You know what? I'm going to go with Bad News Barrett.
Bad News Barrett?
I'll have to go with Bad News Barrett because, again, he's on the roll as well.
Bad News Barrett, hands down right now, is probably their best choice. Others that they could, maybe Mark Henry, Big Show.
No. Those guys are just, for me, I mean, those guys had their time during the Attitude Era. Sorry. I'm like, what you call it? Like, we're watching Extreme Rules, and what's his name kept on calling Ziggler, yeah, it was so funny. Like 3 or 4 times it comes Zigger. But no, those guys had their time already. I don't want to see them holding the title at their age already. So I don't see it. My
one surprise that I would like to see, of course, if you haven't heard, the last, I'll say by WrestleMania time, like during the WrestleMania season this past year, there was speculation of that the United States Championship and the IC title was going to be unified into one title. It would be very interesting as my surprise if John Cena retains and then comes out and enters this battle royal.
Oh, no.
Wins the IC championship, God. And there you go. They could actually unify those titles.
No.
That would be my surprise.
No.
That would be my surprise.
You know who would be the biggest surprise I'd like to see? The biggest fucking surprise ever. And it has
Big Show.
No, Jesse, no. Sting. You know what? Out of the fucking blue, boom, he comes out. I was like, oh shit. And that's one thing I would ever expect, because again, I think his contract's pretty much expired or on the negotiating table. Maybe I don't have no clue. But again, there hasn't been anything said from Sting or WWE. It could be just something played in down low, and then soon, boom, he comes out. He's IC champ.
I could see that too. It'll be very cool.
Give him a title before he retires.
Give him one WWE title push.
Yeah.
The last one, of course, is the heavyweight championship match, the Fatal 4-Way. Seth Rollins, the heavyweight champion, versus Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose added 2 weeks ago to the pay-per-view, changed the triple threat to a Fatal 4-Way. So with this, we were discussing this actually while we were setting up for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins is going to retain this title.
I think that's a no-brainer. I think Seth Rollins is going to continue to hold it. But my big surprise was Dean Ambrose being in the picture.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose was a was a good surprise.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was a good surprise, but it's like, Dean Ambrose? Wasn't he just going for? He was going for every fucking title, and now he's going like, okay, he tried to challenge for the IC title, won and lost. He tried to. I think he tried to go for the U.S. title. Yep. No, I mean, excuse me, I'm repeating myself. U.S. title.
U.S. title.
So he went for the U.S. title. He tried to go for the IC title. Didn't get a break on anyone. Oh, I'm gonna go for the heavyweight title. How about that? It's like, what?
Well, it's very cool because I think in the back pocket, the WWE knows that the Shield rivalry is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Which one is the better? They could actually reform the Shield. Well, there's tons of possibilities that they could go with this.
Well, didn't Dean Ambrose do a whatever the fuck to Roman Reigns already once?
Yeah. I mean, they've had their sneak attacks, and they got SmackDown before they go home for Sunday. But there's a lot of things that they could do, especially. We both said that Seth Rollins was going to win, right? Okay, so now that we got the card now it's time for the surprise. Of course, like I said earlier, there was a massive. If you have the WWE app and the WWE Network, you receive the text or on their social feed that on May 31st, the Elimination Chamber is back.
And where?
In Corpus Christi, Texas. So yeah, we're gonna get 3 pay-per-views on the WWE Network this month. Of course, your 2 major ones, Payback and Elimination Chamber, and of course the third one being the NXT, the 2-hour extravaganza they're gonna be pulling. So Elimination Chamber, yeah. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see these 4 guys once again in the Elimination Chamber, with either Kane being added to the mix, being the 5th member.
Because how many people have to be in the Elimination Chamber?
I believe there's 6. They could add as many as they want, but in normal Elimination Chamber matches, there are 6. So we have Kane, that would be the 5th. And for some odd reason, if not Kane, someone else, then I could actually see them doing something with Brock Lesnar in an Elimination Chamber match.
That's like fitting a lamb to a fucking lion, dude.
I mean, how cool is that to see? Brock Lesnar in his first Elimination Chamber match. Yeah, he would wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Fantasy booking. This is not tentative. We know the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is, but what we're talking about right now is just fantasy booking. I would put Brock Lesnar in the Elimination Chamber against those guys and just show how dominant he's gonna be.
Didn't you have like a scenario that you kind of thought of at one point with Vinnie Mac coming out?
Yeah, basically they're having arguments. Kane and Triple H. They have their squabbles, and Kane breaks from the Authority, and of course that he's added before he adds himself to the
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber match. Vince McMahon gets mad at how the Authority has been running things. Comes out, he lifts the suspension of Brock Lesnar. Also, the other one I had was Kane is added to the match. Seth Rollins gets all butthurt about it, and then all of a sudden he lifts the suspension from Brock Lesnar. It just adds Brock Lesnar out of the clear blue, and then all 5 of them will hate Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's definitely fantasy booking, but still, that's a great little angle to go with.
So
wink, wink, hint, hint. WWE.
So again, 2 pay-per-views: Payback, which we just ran down the card; Elimination Chamber later on the 31st. We'll have another podcast. Obviously, I didn't expect to have another podcast this month, but okay. We'll have another one once more matches have been confirmed for Elimination Chamber. We'll have another one on that one. So we'll be right back, and we're going to be talking NXT, I believe. The NXT extravaganza that's coming up on May 20th. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Things are happening so quickly. It's gaining momentum daily. You can't fight fate.
The entire world knows about it. You can feel the energy.
Watch out. You have no idea what's coming. NXT is taking over the world.
Nothing's gonna stop me.
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
There are no limits.
Unstoppable. This is the place to be!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to be talking NXT TakeOver, which is on May 20th on the WWE Network. And the matches so far are fantastic. What we have right now, we're going to start in no particular order. Our predictions on this one. I'm going to start with Rhino, who has challenged Baron Corbin to a match. I don't know if it's an extreme match or if it's just going to be a regular match. But, wow. Those 2 guys are going to... I think these 2 guys are going to tear down the house. They actually tear down Full Sail University.
Hopefully there'll be actually something extreme. Not, remember the last extreme one we had? It was kind of Yeah, someone forgot to put tables and chairs underneath the ring.
Yeah, with it, if it's just a regular match, I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I'm at a toss on who's going to win, but I think I have a feeling it is going to be. Let me think in my head. I think it's going to be Baron Corbin who's going to take this one, just because it's NXT. But you never know, because that's going to be a hell of a match.
I think Corbin's going to take it as well, but this one's going to be sort of a longer match than he's probably used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because I know okay, I know he's kind of like the right now the countdown guy. Where it's he does his matches like within a couple of seconds and he's done.
Yeah.
The last one he had was the Extreme one. That one lasted a little longer, but again, it wasn't really extreme because someone forgot to put tables underneath the ring and they didn't really go to extreme. So I think this one they're going to actually push the extreme and go longer. This can probably be a second longest match, and maybe hopefully we see some good potential out of this guy. Oh
yeah, I mean, again, Baron Corbin's fantastic. Again, he's one of the future big guys that the WWE has. He has it.
Yeah.
Whenever they're ready to push him into the main roster, I think he's going to do amazingly well. The next match I believe is for the NXT tag team titles, which we have Murphy and Blake against Enzo Amore and Big Cass, which is going to be their first takeover debut for Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who I love these guys. The Italians, these guys, they cut a promo like no one else. They got the NXT universe on their side.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to win, that's another question. I would like for them to win. They do deserve it. Those guys are fantastic, but for some odd reason, a little bird in the back of my mind has been telling me Murphy and Blake might win this champion. Yeah, they're going to keep those titles.
I might agree with you as well. I think, as far as this match goes, I think, again, they're going to retain. I'm not too sure which angle they're going to go with it. If they're going to have them sort of the Motor's right? The Motor's right?
Yeah, Enzo Amore.
Yeah.
And Big Cass.
I can't remember. They don't have a tag team name, I guess.
They just go by their last names.
Yeah, so I think I'd rather have them as the underdog still. Let the fans still continue to build up support for them and then have a title match later down the road. I
mean, they could go either way with those guys. Again, they're both all four of them are fantastic athletes. Whomever they go with, I mean, that tag division down there is fantastic. There's other teams waiting in the wings, so they're all really good guys. The next one is we're going to talk about is going to be the NXT Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks, the women's champion, takes on Becky Lynch. We saw her in the triple threat match they had with, or the Fatal 4 with Bayley and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, I could see her
match.
No, Sasha won. She won the title.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
But I could see either one of these women. This is a toss-up. I'm going to say Sasha Banks retains the title. She's getting actually really close of debuting, I think, on the main roster soon too. But I think she's going to hold that until the next pay-per-view, I think, or the next event at least.
Surprisingly, I might agree with you again on this one because Sasha, again, I think right now the momentum's going toward Bayley in certain ways. To be the next champion, but the momentum's not. Well, she's not up to that point yet. I think the next pay-per-view for NXT, that's when I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sasha Banks versus Bayley, and then they're going to move the title over to Bayley.
I mean, they have so many talents. It could go to anyone, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the women's division down there is fantastic. We've high praises all around for the NXT women's division. But yeah, I'm going to say Sasha Banks. I was thinking about changing it, but no, I'm going to stick with Sasha. The next match is going to be a triple threat. The number one contenders match. We got Hiro Itami versus Tyler Breeze versus Finn Balor. for the number one contender for the NXT Championship. With this one, I am going to have to say that it might be Hiro Itami's turn to go for the title. We saw him at WrestleMania. Nice little run. I think it's going to be his turn to come up. So I'm going to say it's going to be Hiro who's going to win this match.
That one I have to disagree with you. I think it's to be Finn Balor again.
I mean, Finn's a great athlete. So is Tyler Breeze.
That's going to probably be the biggest surprise out of this three-way. It's going to probably will be Tyler Breeze, as much as we don't want it. But I'm going to stick my guns with Finn Balor.
All three of them have. All three of the you can't count Neville anymore because he's on the main roster.
Yeah.
But all five of these guys that we're going to be talking about in these matches are fantastic athletes. Tyler Breeze, fantastic athlete. He's proven he's NXT. That's where he's been, and he's done great matches. Hiro Itami, his short time, he's finally getting that WWE style. Finn Balor picked it up really fast. He's fantastic. Any of those three guys could become the new NXT champion and have a great match with Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, who's going to be main eventing this event, and we're going to be talking about that match next. But man, that's a tough one. But I like it. This match is going to be these two matches.
It's one of those matches that if you like all three of these guys, you're not gonna lose.
Yeah, it's gonna blow the house down again. It's gonna be fantastic. Even with this next two, that's why I said 5. Of course, the main event, the NXT Heavyweight Championship, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a rematch. Last time we saw these guys fight, Kevin Owens won the heavyweight title by knockout,
which was a rare occurrence.
Rare occurrence. But I think it's going to be Kevin Owens. I have a feeling Kevin Owens is going to retain this title because Sami Zayn's, I think, going to be next to be called up to the main roster. But Kevin Owens himself is going to be he's going to be taking it. I mean, his style has been really fitting in. Marketing loves him. He has the number 1 T-shirt from NXT, so Triple H likes that. So I do believe Kevin Owens is going to hold on to that NXT championship.
Backing up just a little bit, you know how we were talking about the open challenge from Cena and with the U.S. title? I was talking to you about my prediction, or at least what should have happened was to promote this pay-per-view. I'm just saying, this is out of promotions that my thinking mind is have Sami Zayn come out, go against Cena, then out of the blue, what should have happened was Kevin Owens should have came out, cost the match for Sami Zayn, then we go back into NXT, and then we do have this pay-per-view. That's the way, as far as a promotional standpoint, that's the way it should have been, because you're promoting both brands, the NXT and WWE and the Raw and SmackDown. That's the way it should have happened, because when I was so upset when fucking Cena buried Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn got hurt, whether it be Cena's fault or not, he got hurt. That's you don't hurt future talent like that, or you don't hurt yourself, seeing that you got a bright future in the WWE. So as far as this card is going back to this card, I see Kevin Owens winning.
Most definitely, Kevin Owens. Again, this card is stacked, and what's gonna be bad is that, well, I think that's why they did it first, is that they're gonna, instead of having a follow up to NXT, WWE's gonna go on first, then NXT, but then of course they got Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But who knows how that's gonna play out. So we did our NXT predictions. We talked about, Payback? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And now our main topic of the Fatal 4-Way podcast, we're going to be talking Daniel Bryan. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to D-Bry? We're going to take a quick break. We have some Facebook comments on here as well. So we'll be right back, and we'll talk about Daniel Bryan and his injury.
How long have you guys been treating me like I was something special, huh? How long? It seems like it's years now. It's years that you guys have been treating me way better than anybody in the back has ever treated me. And that's why it was so crushing to me last year, almost exactly a year ago, when Stephanie came out here and stripped me of my WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But the hard thing for me to admit, even as you guys are yesing right now, is that Stephanie was right to do it. Because no one knew how long I would be out. I was hurt, and I couldn't defend the championship. And if you guys deserve anything, you guys deserve a fighting champion. Which is actually why I asked to come out here tonight. I had an MRI last week. They don't know how long I'll be out. They said maybe weeks, maybe months. They said I might never ever be able to wrestle again.
All right, you heard the clip. Daniel Bryan's uncertain again due to another injury he suffered at WrestleMania. Had to be pulled from the WWE European Tour. Put him out of action from Extreme Rules. And the uncertainty of his career. I look at it. This time he's having his surgery. For me, Daniel Bryan, after the surgery, I think he should just lay low for a while. Maybe take a year and a half off, maybe a year, just so he could rest, because his body is telling him, hey, you need to slow down. You need to change something. Maybe go like a Stone Cold route and talk to Steve Austin, because Steve Austin, after his neck injury, he had to develop a new style. He was no longer the technical wrestler like Daniel Bryan is. He has to change his style up. So maybe talk to Steve Austin, take a year off, come back ready to go. I think that's the best route for Daniel Bryan, because if he comes back too early, who knows what could happen to him? Another surgery, put him out of action. Worst case scenario is what happened down in Mexico. You know, anything could happen while in the ring.
Yeah.
But that's the worst case scenario. What happened to Perro Aguayo Jr. I don't want anything like that to happen to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is going to have to use his best judgment when he comes back. But if he decides to come back, I'd like to see him take some time off before he does. A little bit more than what the doctors give him, so he could just relax his body a little bit more before going on through the trenches that the WWE schedule is, and then coming back again. Ernest, what do you think of D-Bry?
To be fair with you, I was sort of upset with him. Again, almost a year ago to the T, he gets re-injured, all because of a decision he made last year not to take, the real measures so he could be really healthy this time around. Now he's taking the surgery apparently, and he's doing the things that he needs to do, but he put his own career in jeopardy by doing that. And to be fair with you, I think I like Daniel Bryan because, again, he was the underdog and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? At this point in time, I'm no longer supporting him. That's kind of a harsh thing to say, but the dude did it upon himself. It just, I don't know if the dude's fragile. I don't know if the dude's just not taking precautionary measures. But as you told me earlier during the day, we were talking about the podcast episode. He's been wrestling since the beginning. Almost from his young age. So Yeah, I can see, the years catching up to him, the wrestling, even though he's not as old as we think he is. He's pretty still young, fairly young, but
Body-wise.
It just is, again, all the bumps that he's taken over the years, caught up to him. He should have taken the precautionary measure last year. That way this year he could have been coming out with full steam and, had a good run with the IC title, but now he has to give up the IC title again. Not just the IC title, he had to give up another title. I mean, you gave up the biggest title of them all last year, the World Championship, and now you're giving up the IC title after just winning it again, or another title. I just what? Put my hands up like, dude, I'm done with you.
I mean, it's tough to say because he still has the drawing power. Of course, his name, we know what he brings to the table. Regardless of what happens to Daniel Bryan, I'm safe to say that he's got a job in WWE.
No doubt.
Like I said earlier, I could see him as head trainer for NXT, coming down to Full Sail University and becoming a trainer with Albert. I mean, and the rest of the legends. I mean, he could teach him promos. He could teach him. The psychological aspects of getting into that ring, because he's trained with Shawn Michaels. He's trained with William Regal. He's trained with some of the best wrestlers with ring psychology and with the charisma and how to bring people in. He's trained with the best of them. So he'll be a perfect aspect and a perfect trainer down at NXT. Same thing with other guys. Shout outs. We're gonna go to some of the comments right now on our Facebook, on our Facebook page. Our friend Nicholas Castro up in Virginia. He thinks he should quit while he's ahead. That's it. And again, go down to NXT. He's with us on that one as well, because I mean, who knows what's gonna? Again, he doesn't know what's gonna happen. That little body, man, he's done a lot with it. So Christian, he agrees with us on that one, that he should quit while he's ahead. Our other friend Mark is actually on the opposite side. This time he's having the surgery, and he wishes them the best of luck so he could go ahead and pull out some great matches. They need to take a page. He also says that they should take a page out of Lucha Underground, because Lucha Underground could do everything that they need to do within 1 hour's time or 2 hour time, and no one really gets hurt too much. And they do a lot more high fly stuff. So Mark is on the opposite end with us. He sees that Daniel Bryan could possibly come back.
But they need to downsize the time that they actually have for Raw.
Yeah. If this were to be put an end to it, our friend Rob says that, yes, definitely Daniel Bryan needs to stop. Yes, the fans love him, but at what cost? I would rather see him live to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Which we're discussing earlier today, too.
That's another... That's why I read his comment last, because he brings up a big point. Is Daniel Bryan...
Hall of Fame material.
Hall of Fame worthy. He is a Triple Crown winner. He's won the WWE Tag Team titles. He's won the WWE IC title, and he's won the Heavyweight title.
Well, let's discuss this. Let's discuss like previous wrestlers who have been in a similar situation as Daniel Bryan.
Well, the closest one is Edge.
Yeah.
But Daniel Bryan technically is not in the same category. He is and he isn't. I don't want to be judgmental on Daniel Bryan. As in WWE wise, he's nowhere near where Edge was.
Because you got to remember, Edge was here during the Attitude Era. He had a lot of extreme stuff happen to him. He's done a lot of promos that made him stand out. Whereas Daniel Bryan, I really don't understand to a T why the WWE Universe loves Daniel Bryan as much they do right now versus Edge, where Edge pretty much, he built that reputation with the WWE Universe.
Well, see, this is where it comes down to. Daniel Bryan brought what Shawn Michaels taught him, and that's how to connect with the fans. Edge has it. Daniel Bryan has it. Edge was different because we saw him grow up. And same thing with Shawn Michaels. We saw him grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
So any struggles that Edge and Shawn Michaels had, we felt with them because they were honest and sincere. Daniel Bryan is honest and sincere. We know his past, and that's what draws the fans to him. That's why I'm a fan of Daniel Bryan. I am. But to me, he is not a first ballot. Regardless of what happens, Daniel Bryan is not a first ballot Hall of Famer like Edge was.
Because you got to consider, too, you know, when Edge retired, how many years before he was actually inducted to the Hall of Fame?
He was a first-year ballot. Boom. After he announced his retirement, the next year he was in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so now taking that into consideration as far as Daniel Bryan goes.
Well, then it comes down to what he's accomplished. Daniel Bryan, of course, in a lot more overseas experience, won multiple titles in different organizations. He's a multi-time champion. Edge held 90 titles in WWE. 90 champions. He has the most titles in WWE history. Multiple IC titles, multiple tag team titles, 11-time heavyweight champion. Some, I think he had a United States title like for a little bit. He is the overall creme de la creme of what WWE was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with 90 titles. That's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Same thing when Cena retires. I see it. Cena's a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless of what happens.
Oh, yeah. That I see.
Same thing with Undertaker. Now, Undertaker falls kind of in the category of Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan only has those 3 titles to his name.
But he has the legacy behind him, though, as The Undertaker.
Well, Undertaker was WWE legacy, and that's completely different. But, I mean, it's hard for me that, you know what I mean? But Daniel Bryan, and unless something bad happens to Daniel Bryan where he actually
legitimately has to retire,
and that or he passes away, I don't think, well, like, unless he passes away, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Which we don't
want that to happen. We don't want Daniel Bryan. We don't want Daniel Bryan to pass away. No. He's a fantastic husband, fantastic man. He does a lot of good things. He's got a bright future regardless of what happens.
You have to look at his resume versus other superstars essentially. And does he make the card for Hall of Fame as the leading name as a Hall of Famer? Again.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
No doubt.
But not first ballot. He's not going to be like, hey, he's going to retire and we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a couple years, do something else, show his worth in a different area.
Like charities or something like that, you know.
Charities, training down in NXT. He's going to be like Macho Man. He's going to be in the wings for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see if anything bad happens. I hope he comes back and competes, so we could alter our discussion that we're having right now about Daniel Bryan. If he comes back and he starts winning again and wins multiple championships, he could possibly be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Another thing that we talked about before we go, CM Punk. I don't want to talk about CM Punk, but I have to. He was smart. He left WWE before anything happens to his body. He only had one surgery. I think it was his knee or his elbow or his leg. And now he's cool. You know what I mean? He left. He left on his own accord. Even though he left us hanging, he left before his body took it because he wanted to compete in the UFC.
Which is another animal altogether.
Yeah. Good luck to him in his first match in December. I think that's what I've been hearing. But is compared with Daniel Bryan, he left before any serious injury. He was a smart man to do so. Because he, like Daniel Bryan and like Sami Zayn hasn't really been hurt that much. And what happens? He hurts himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, he's down the same road as Daniel Bryan. Same thing that could happen with Hiro Itami, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens. All these guys, they've been on the road for quite some time. Now they're in the big time, and they're gonna push their bodies to the limit with what little time they got left. I mean, because they started young, like Rey Mysterio. He had a goal. He never had rest. That's why he has 2 bum knees. You know, that's it for that one. Daniel Bryan. Thank you for joining. I mean, that sucks the way to end the show like that. We're gonna have another show because of Elimination Chamber. We're just waiting for more matches to come out. I'm going to be posting more questions on our social media, so follow us definitely on our Facebook page, Facebook/groups, Fatal 4-Way Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Most definitely, you can listen to the podcast. I'm going to be uploading some stuff to SoundCloud within the next couple of weeks. So you can go to SoundCloud, look for the Fatal 4-Way Podcast. YouTube, Fatal 4-Way Podcast, Jesse Lopez. That is me. You could also check out www.animefuntv, which is our home webpage. Most definitely check out Anime Fun TV. You could see me doing season 5 of Anime Fun TV. That's why we did not have last month. I had other projects going on. The show that, of course, my main show asked me to do something, and I said yes. So I took a little time off from the Fatal 4-Way Podcast to do the TV show. If you're in the San Antonio area, definitely public access. So most definitely check out our public access. But season 5 is coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, and y'all have a blessed night. All right, and see you guys in a couple weeks for our next episode.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.